Oh look, our parts have came, and somebody must have needed M156 parts because they're open. Let's go ahead and get these put in. This is what we're dealing with here in Chicago, guys. All of our parts are in, and we will start to put them into the ML, and we will put the throttle body back in, we'll put the intake manifold back together, and all of that stuff, get it all plumbed up. I did check my launch scanner for the feature to test the throttle body, and it didn't seem to be working, or doesn't have the right one. I know some models don't have it. I'm pretty confident that the issue was that seal. If it wasn't, I'll have to take it out again and replace the throttle body. So let's get to work and getting this back together. All right, here's the new part with the new gasket. So you could just toss this old part out, and we got our intake manifold gaskets from Mercedes. Here's the part number. Got our breather pipe, new bolts, injectors, and new vacuum hose. So let's go ahead and start by reassembling the throttle bodies, and then we'll reassemble the intake manifold, and then we'll move on to the injectors, and we'll test the throttle bodies, and we'll get everything squared away. So let's get to work. Alright, let's get to reassembling everything here. Got our new plate, got the gasket on. I'm just gonna shimmy all this stuff over here. Let's move this here. It'd help if I had that in the correct orientation. It's actually this way. I believe. No? I had it right. Jesus. Upside down. Jesus Christ.
Next, you put on the bracket for the throttle bodies and torque them to 10 Newton meters.
Okay, so I had to put these tabs back. Right there. Forgot about them. Now we can get back to reassembling like we were. It's plugged in. I didn't touch anything here.
So next up, you want to put on all your bolts for the lower part of the intake manifold, and I did about 12 foot-pounds of torque. I didn't find any specific torque specs online, but just Guten tight, and that will do. And then move on to your next step. In my case, I worked on the injectors next.
Right, so the clip goes in like that, like we did it. So we'll take the clip this way, and then it'll go this, like this. Like so.
After that, we're going to just repeat the step with the rest of the injectors. I just want to check if that was the right orientation, and it is. So we'll finish that up and we'll move on to the next step.
Let's go ahead and put in our new breather tube. That's on. So I have the fuel rail connected because I was going to test the throttle bodies with the scan tool, but I don't have that feature, I guess. So I'm going to leave those connected because there's fuel in there. I don't want to spill out. I'll be able to just top those over the manifold once I have it in place. So let's go ahead and start assembling this portion of it, put that bracket back on, and get this thing back in the car. When you guys go to install the intake manifold, well, make sure you have this tube connected. It just snaps into place. To take it off, you press it and pull it out. Push this back into the back of the intake manifold. Mine slid out even though it had a clamp. And this hose as well. Don't forget that hose, and then don't forget to plug in your sensor back there. Then we will move on to the injectors and reinstalling all of that. So we'll start off by placing it here and try to connect those lines we were talking about. A little bit difficult here. Should be able to do it. Let's finagling here. Not as easy as I thought. Of course, never is. Last thing you want is to break this. That's it. Get some more wiggle room to get that vacuum line in there with that special clamp. I took this bracket off and that helped a lot. Before we forget, let's go ahead and put in our sensor. We're gonna plug it in. And then we can insert it here. Also bring this line, plug that in. So that's in. This the breather's gonna go in here. Let's see if I could get around to it. Let's remember the longer bolt out of all these bolts goes back here for this feed tube. Hand threaded it most of the way now. We could go ahead and ratchet it. Plenty of room back here now. Okay, that's all good. Holes are lining up. We can go ahead and tighten our manifold down. Let's drop in our new bolts. Drop in our new bolts. Just don't drop them into the intake ports. hand tighten these. And then we'll get the torque specs and we'll torque these guys down. All right, so to torque these, you got to start with first one here, then you go 2 at the end, then you go 3, then you go 4, then you go 5, then you go 6, then you go 7, then you go 8, then you go 9, and then you go 10. So we're going to do 1 here. And 2 at the very back. Let's get to the side here. It's 10. And 3. 3. And 4 here. 4, 5, 5, and then 6 here. Then 7. 7's here. And 7. And then 8. 8. And then 9 and the last one here. 9 and 10 the front here. And then you go stage 2, you do 90 degrees and then 10 degrees. So you start this one 90 degrees. 2, 90 degrees. 4 over here. 5 over here. 5. And you got 6. 6. 7 over here. 7. You got 8 over here. 8. You got 9. 9 over here. And 10 over here. And do it all over again, about 10 degrees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. Okay, that's done. Let's go ahead and put our fuel rail back in. It'll spun around. It's all spun around. We can't do it. No, cannot. Have to loosen it. Fortunately, I have to loosen it. Can't do anything. But before we push them down, let's remember this was our hardest pin to push in. So let's make sure that doesn't give us a problem this time. All right, before I put the intake boxes on, I'm gonna take them apart, see if there was anything that got snipped in there that would have caused the throttle bodies, that piece to fall in the throttle body. So let's go ahead and take these apart. So there you have it, guys. This piece, guaranteed on the other box, fell off, got sucked in. And these are extra emissions charcoal filters. I'm glad I sorted that out. So let's go ahead and put this back together, take the other filter out, and see if there's any codes on the car, and we should be good to go.
So after putting this back together, I did take the other one apart to make sure that there wasn't any loose rubber pieces, and that one was okay. So I went ahead and reinstalled those, but for future reference, make sure you guys check those carbon filters, and they do have row air boxes, rest of the world air boxes that eliminate those that were for the European market, and they do increase your horsepower, and you can purchase those. Now, don't do what I did here. I forgot to plug in
Make sure everything's
that
plugged in.
vacuum line right there, as you can see.
That's plugged in. Looks like it was actually that piece of rubber from the filters, the charcoal filters. So let's go ahead and take this thing for a test drive and see if it's all good. Cleared the codes. Should be able to drive this thing now and have no issues. Let's give it some power here. God, I love the M156. Such an amazing engine. Hear the crackles and pops and the backfires. Of course, my car came with a muffler delete, so that's why it sounds so nice. All right, car's running great. No lights, throttle works. Issue fixed. In the process, we installed some new injectors, seals, did some preventative maintenance, so big plus. If anybody wants to buy the car, shoot me a DM, it is up for sale, or email me, otherwise Instagram direct message me. Thanks for tuning to the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. Hopefully that'll teach me to check the airbox, double check when I'm reinstalling everything. So subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.